Bruno Fernandes made his return to Carrington today, participating in Ruben Amorim's second training session as Manchester United's new manager. The Portuguese playmaker joined his teammates in what appeared to be a high-energy session as Amorim continues to implement his ideas with the squads. The training began with an intense warm-up, setting the tone for the day. Fernandes, known for his professionalism and leadership, quickly got involved, working closely with teammates and showing the sharpness that has made him a key figure at Manchester United. Amorim kept a watchful eye on the session, occasionally stopping play to offer instructions and refine tactical movements. Throughout the drills, Fernandes stood out for his vocal presence, frequently encouraging younger players and maintaining the tempo during possession-based exercises. Amorim was particularly active during the tactical segments of the training, where he emphasised pressing, quick transitions and positional play. Other senior players, including Marcus Rashford and Casemiro, were equally focused, while the likes of Alejandro Garnacho and 𝐉𝐔𝐒𝐓 𝐈𝍍 took the opportunity to impress Amorim. The integration of youth players alongside seasoned professionals highlighted the manager's intent to create a cohesive and dynamic squad. Training concluded with a short-sided match that saw Fernandes at the heart of most attacking moves. His precise passes and quick decision-making were a reminder of why he is the team's captain and creative engine. The players left the pitch visibly energised, a reflection of the fresh start under Amorim. Bruno Fernandes' return to training is a welcome boost as the team continues preparations for upcoming fixtures. With Amorim already making his mark, the focus now shifts to translating the intensity and cohesion from the training ground to matchday performances. Marcus Rashford has issued a message after Ruben Amorim's first training session as Manchester United head coach. Amorim was appointed as United's new boss earlier this month to replace Erik ten Hag. In the Old Trafford dugout, the 39-year-old took charge of training at Carrington on Monday for the first time as he worked with some members of the United squad. Rashford was one member of the United squad in attendance in training after not being involved on international duty this month. The United Academy graduate will be hoping to use the next few days to stake a claim to be in Amorim's first starting lineup as the club's new head coach. United training is expected to ramp up over the next few days ahead of the return to Premier League action this weekend. Amorim's first match as United head coach will see the squad travel to face Ipswich Town on Sunday. With the Amorim era officially underway at United, Rashford has posted a message on social media reacting to the first training session. On his Instagram story, Rashford wrote, "Top session today," accompanied by a picture of himself taking part in the training session at Carrington. As well as Rashford, 9 more United first-team players took part in Amorim's first training session. The England international was joined by 𝐉𝐶𝐒𝐓 𝐈𝐍, Leny Yoro, Mason Mount, Amad Diallo, Johnny Evans, Casemiro, Antony, Tom Heaton, Tyrell Malacia and Luke Shaw at Carrington. 𝐈𝐍, Yoro, Mount, Malacia and Shaw have all been on the sidelines for United in recent weeks through injury. Yoro is yet to make his competitive debut for United since his summer move from Lille, while Malacia has been stepping up his return from a long-term knee injury after featuring for the Under-21s last week. Manchester United youngster Jim Thwaites took part in first-team training on Monday, despite being aged just 16 years old. There are multiple senior players who are still away on international duty, meaning youngsters were needed to make up the numbers in Ruben Amorim's first training session. Among the academy players to be called up was Thwaites, who was also given the opportunity to train with the first team by Erik ten Hag ahead of facing Brighton in August. Thwaites is considered as one of the academy's leading prospects in his age group and won the club's Goal of the Season award for both under-16 and under-18 level last term. The youngster's great form has continued into this campaign, and he recently scored a stunning free kick. Thwaites has contributed 4 goals and 2 assists in just 3 starts. He has made a total of 9 appearances for the U18s and has spent some time with the U16 group. The midfielder predominantly played for the U16s last season, but he made 9 appearances for the U18s and was given 2 substitute appearances for the Under-21s. He was expected to be given a prominent role in Adam Lawrence's U18 side this season, and he's gone from strength to strength, making an appearance in every U18 league game. Different sources have suggested Thwaites has slightly gone under the radar in the conversation about emerging prospects, and the youngster has been tipped to have a bright future. Thwaites was the second 16-year-old to be involved in Amorim's first training session, as imposing defender Godwill Kukonki also took part, which was a huge milestone in his career. Jadon Sancho, Jack Kingdon, Sam Murray, Finale McAllister, Ruben Curley, Malachi Sharp, Godwill Kukonki, Lewis Jackson, Ethan Williams and Jim Thwaites. Paul Pogba is not likely to consider a return to Manchester United as the France midfielder, who has recently returned from a drugs ban, weighs up his options. The World Cup winner, 31, is currently training in Miami and, according to reports, looking to join a club in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. However, a third stint at Old Trafford is not expected to happen, despite Pogba being available for no fee after he came to a mutual agreement to rip up his contract with Juventus last week. Pogba was given a 4-year ban in September 2023 after he was found to have given a positive doping test that saw his testosterone level raised in August of that year. But he then had the length of that suspension reduced to 18 months on appeal, meaning he is free to return to action in March of next year. In a statement confirming his Juventus departure, Pogba said, "There are times when things don't go the way we want, but one thing is certain, the bond I have with you, dear fans, will remain unforgettable. You have given me so much, more than I can express in words, and I will always carry with me all the affection you have given me. You will always be in my heart. Good luck, Juventus." The Italian club released their own confirmation. Juventus Football Club and Paul Pogba announced that they have reached a mutual agreement for the termination of their contract as of the 30th of November 2024. The club wishes Paul the very best for his professional future. Pogba has also insisted that he can hit the same heights as before his ban, adding, "I'm still the same player but with a different hunger," he said. "I am more motivated. I am more hungry. I will appreciate the game more than before after it was taken away from me. I realised how important it was for me. I tasted what life is after the career." United, meanwhile, are expected to sell some players before any future signings are sanctioned. However, new manager Ruben Amorim, who will take charge of the club for the first time against Ipswich on Sunday afternoon, may be determined to reshape the squad left by Erik ten Hag. Pogba's immediate future remains uncertain, but his determination to reclaim his place among Europe's elite is evident. Training in Miami, the World Cup winner is said to be in discussions with clubs across top leagues. While Juventus and Manchester United are no longer part of his story, Pogba's talent and experience will undoubtedly attract interest from teams seeking a seasoned midfielder with something to prove. As he looks ahead to March 2025, Pogba is focused on rebuilding his career with a renewed hunger for success. Whether he achieves the heights of his past remains to be seen, but his journey promises to be one of redemption and reinvention. Meanwhile, Manchester United is entering a new chapter under Ruben Amorim, who faces the challenge of revitalising a squad left in flux after Erik ten Hag's tenure. Amorim's managerial debut against Ipswich this weekend will offer a glimpse into his plans to reshape the team's identity. As Pogba seeks a fresh start, United is also striving for renewal, albeit on a different path. The roads of Pogba and the Red Devils may no longer cross, but both are poised for transformative journeys ahead. Ruben Amorim will make his managerial debut for Manchester United against Ipswich Town, hoping to kick off his tenure with a strong performance. He inherits a team in good form under interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy, who led the side to 3 wins and a draw in their last 4 matches. However, Amorim faces a significant challenge. With ongoing injury concerns, Mason Mount's return to action has been a welcome boost for United. After suffering an earlier injury this season, Mount was back in the squad for United's recent 3-0 victory over Leicester City, although he didn't feature off the bench. His appearance in the Europa League match against PAOK showcased his improving fitness. If available for Ipswich, Mount could provide Amorim with crucial attacking options. Lisandro Martinez's situation remains troubling. The defender aggravated a back injury during the Leicester game, which worsened during the international break. Argentina's coach, Lionel Scaloni, confirmed Martinez was unfit for national duties following tests. A defensive cornerstone for United, Martinez's availability for the Ipswich clash remains uncertain, leaving Amorim awaiting further updates. Kobbie Mainoo, the talented young midfielder, has been sidelined since early October with a hamstring injury. Although progress has been reported, Ruud van Nistelrooy indicated before the international break that Mainoo hasn't resumed full training. A return for the Ipswich match appears improbable. Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro, who have yet to feature this season due to injuries, recently resumed team training. While this is encouraging news, Amorim is expected to ease them back cautiously. A place on the bench for the Ipswich match might be their most realistic involvement. Harry Maguire, still recovering from his injury against Aston Villa, continues indoor rehabilitation at Carrington. Tyrell Malacia, meanwhile, recently discussed his struggles during an 18-month absence due to knee surgeries. Though he appeared for the Under-21s in the EFL Trophy, he remains far from ready for senior team action. Amorim faces a challenging start at Portman Road, with the medical team's updates on Martinez Mount and Mainu likely shaping his approach. Despite the injury setbacks, Amorim can draw confidence from United's strong form under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Fans eagerly anticipate this new chapter, hoping for a winning start to Amorim's reign. While injuries may complicate team selection, a spirited performance against Ipswich could lay the foundation for a successful era under the Portuguese coach. The sun had barely risen over Carrington, but the Manchester United training ground was already alive with energy. Players whispered among themselves, excited yet curious about what lay ahead. They had heard the rumours Ruben Amorim, the Portuguese mastermind, was different. At precisely 9 AM, Amorim strode onto the pitch, with a confidence that immediately commanded respect. His whistle hung loosely around his neck, and a clipboard filled with diagrams and notes was tucked under his arm. The players could sense it, this was no ordinary training session. "All right everyone, gather round," Amorim called out. His voice was calm but carried an authority that silenced the chatter. As the players formed a circle, he laid out his plan. "We're going to play football the way it's meant to be played," he began, his words sparking a ripple of excitement. "Fast, fearless and together. From today, we start building something unstoppable." Amorim's methods were unlike anything the squad had experienced before. Training began with an intense rondo session, but it wasn't the typical warm-up they were used to. Amorim's version demanded precision, speed and constant communication. Laughter and frustration mixed as players tried to keep up with the blistering pace. Then came tactical drills. Using coloured cones and markers, Amorim broke down positional play in ways that left even the most seasoned players impressed. He moved among them, correcting stances, pointing out spaces to exploit and praising quick thinking. "Good, Bruno, that's what I want to see. Rashford, when you make that run, trust your instincts," he shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. For the defenders, Amorim introduced a drill designed to replicate high-pressure scenarios. Lisandro Martinez and Raphael Varane locked eyes as they prepared for the challenge. "Stay compact, communicate and anticipate," Amorim instructed Dot. As the session progressed, the players found themselves pushing harder, smiling more and rediscovering the joy of the game. The final segment of training was a scrimmage, but with a twist. Amorim introduced rules that forced the team to adapt, think creatively and trust one another. Goals weren't celebrated by individuals, but by the entire team. When Garnacho scored a screamer, Amorim clapped and yelled, "That's it! That's the Manchester United spirit!" By the end of the session, the players were exhausted but exhilarated. The camaraderie was palpable, and even the younger players felt like they belonged. News of the extraordinary session spread quickly. Staff members who watched from the sidelines couldn't contain their excitement. "I've never seen anything like it," one of them admitted. Back at Old Trafford, fans began sharing clips and photos from the day. The hashtag Amorim era started trending, with supporters marvelling at the energy and passion radiating from the squad. "This is it," one fan tweeted. "This is the Manchester United we've been waiting for." As the players left the pitch, drenched in sweat but smiling, Amorim stood watching them, a satisfied look on his face. He knew this was just the beginning, but he also knew the foundation had been laid. "See you all tomorrow," he said with a nod, "and come ready to work." For the first time in years, Manchester United felt like Manchester United again. Ruben Amorim wasn't just a coach, he was a man on a mission to restore the pride, passion and power of one of the greatest clubs in football history. The Amorim revolution had begun.